Hi to all the learners out there. I'm Ramya here from Sankhyana Consultancy Services. I'm welcoming you to our new YouTube channel, and this channel is precisely made for you to understand what is data science, okay, for you to explore about data science. So let's have a small introduction of what is data science. So when you want to understand about data science, the two terms that you need to realize is what is data analysis and what is data analytics. Okay, there are much variation in or difference in between these two. That is, when I say about data analysis, okay, in this we tend to take the past data and we are going to use that past data whatever is available, and we are going to analyze on the present status of that data, okay, whether it is useful for me right now or no. Okay, that's what we are going to do here. And when I say about data analytics, okay, I'm going to take the data which is analyzed, okay, from the past data, and I'm going to use it for my future prediction. That's what I do in data analytics. So a combination of data analysis and data analytics is data science. So why should we all go for data? What is the requirement for us to do with data, right? So data is basically information, okay, the information that we obtain. Look, when we tend to speak, even a person who speaks to you, they will speak to you so many things, right? When you have a small discussion also, you have so many things around you. And it's that small thing, okay, which makes sense to us. It's not that everything under the conversation that will make sense to us, right? There can be few things which is not relevant to us, which is not relevant to what we really needed, and we need to check on the points which is really required for us, and we're going to concentrate on those points. That's what we do in data science. We have data all around us, everywhere and anywhere. What we do is we tend to take this data, okay, and we are going to check on the data that is really required for us. We are going to validate those data, and once we validate them, we are going to explore them, and on exploring we're going to analyze those data, and then we are going to try predicting future. And when you want to predict future, it's not as easy as what you think, okay, keeping the data which is there. So for that reason we need something called machine learning or and deep learning. Now let's get into this data science, okay, how it is. First you need to know is the career opportunities that is available in data science. So when you happen to learn data science, what are the possible profiles that you can get in, right? So that will be the first thing that you'll be looking at. First thing is business analyst. So when I speak about business analyst, here have the list of people, okay, the one who have this profile. They tend to understand on business, what is happening with the business, the present data that is available, okay, based on the revenue generation, based on the losses that have incurred, based on the number of employees that a business is having, and all those sort of data is analyzed. Okay, keeping all this data oriented technique, they tend to handle a large volume of data, and they use all this data for our actionable business growth. That's what they do in business analyst. And to be a business analyst, you should have a good knowledge on business finance, business intelligence, and if I tend to speak in terms of IT, you should have good knowledge on data handling and data visualization. So why is data handling and data visualization very important to us? When I speak about this, data handling is one of such thing, like you need to know just to understand the data that is required for us, the data that is really required for us, what are the data that's not required for us. You're going to wrangle the data, you're going to clean the data there, okay, and you're going to munch the data. So in this format you need to handle the data, and just handling data won't help you, right? You need to present it in a much better way. So for presenting, you're going to use data visualization techniques, okay. This is what a business analyst can do. And when you're a business analyst, okay, in India, the approximate salary, the average salary that you can obtain is 650,000 per year, okay. This is the average salary that you can get. That is like a good package, right? It's not very low. So to be a business analyst, just try learning on these aspects like business finance, business intelligence, and data handling and data visualization, okay. And the another profile that we can be interested in is data engineer. So what is this data engineering? When I speak about engineering, the first thing that comes into our uh, comes into picture is what engineer does, they are like the one who constructs house, the one who does some ecosystem, some sort of environment which can be used for our best benefit, right? So data engineer also, they do the same thing. They try to provide, okay, they try to build and test a scalable big data ecosystem, okay, and these ecosystem can be updated by this engineer, but they cannot create the complete ecosystem without the help of data scientists. They need the help of data scientists, but they have all the providence for them to update this ecosystem whichever is there, okay. So to be a data engineer, you should have a good knowledge on Hive, you should have good knowledge on NoSQL, Ruby, apart from Python, okay. You need to have good knowledge on Python as well, Java, C++, and MATLAB. So this is what you need to know. If you happen to cultivate these sort of skill, you can probably be a best data engineer. And if you're a data engineer in India, you have a whopping salary of around 830,000 per year, okay. So it is quite good, right? 830,000 per year. So you can possibly try getting these skills, try cultivating these skills for your best benefit. Next comes data administrator. When I speak about administrator, we all know what administrator does. They try to check the functionality, whether the present ecosystem, whatever is there, is it working in a best possible way. If it is not working, what I can include there for all the data to be used. So what they do here is they check on the proper functioning of the database, okay. And these database is completely what that business is in need of right now, right? So keeping this database only, they try to do all sort of thing in a business. So a data administrator should keep a check on each and everything that is there, and you should have a good knowledge on disaster management. If something happens wrong, okay, if you happen to lose some data, you know that data is very sensitive in nature. So definitely when you tend to lose a data, it's gonna make a huge havoc for the complete business, right? So in case if there is any loss of data, how can you have a backup, how can you have a recovery? That is very important, right? Just in a phone, a mobile phone, if you happen to lose data, you know how much you lose. So imagine in business, if you happen to lose data, what may happen, right? So data administrator, they are again a good it's a good profile wherein you can work on with. To be a data administrator, you should know about data security, you should know about data modeling, and you should also know about data design, okay. Next come data analyst, one of the major profile which is used right now, okay. Most of them, wherever we see, they say that I'm a data analyst, and they're like, they love their job. Why do they love their job? Firstly, we can say data analysts are kind of smart people, right? So they can analyze various things. First thing what they need to do is they need to visualize the data, okay. They need to visualize the data, and they need to acquire the data in the right way. The one major task for data analyst is how do they acquire the data, okay. When we speak about data in business, we are going to concentrate on big data. So when it is a big data, we cannot use each and every data which is available. We should use the data that is really required for us. So data optimization of data is the major skill for data analyst, okay. And what they do apart from optimizing the data, they try to process it. While processing, they try to identify few hidden patterns, few things that a general person cannot understand. That is how they analyze, okay. For that, they tend to use various logics, and they try to visualize it. See, being an analyst, they can see various things by just a small data, okay. But it's not easy for a general person, a general human, a client, okay, who is not having any technical background. They definitely cannot understand what is it. For that reason, they need to know, like, it should be presented in a right way. If it is not presented in a right way, definitely that person cannot understand. For that, we have various visualization technique, and we have various visualization library as well, okay. So in that aspect, they need to know how to probably present. That is their major criteria, okay. And if you're a data analyst, you would probably get around 424,000 per year, okay. And you can also have a cross check here. When you look at this row, the salary package is like average kind, but why is the salary package too high here? There should be some difference, right? The major thing is the profile which is here, such as data scientist, machine learning researcher, machine learning engineer, data architect, are of high demand. It's not just because of the skill they possess, it's because they are the people who are going to predict the future of any business. They're going to predict the trends that can probably give them more profit. Okay, so what will data scientists do? Let's think about it. So when I say about data scientist, he is basically termed as a trendsetter of data science, wherein if you happen to have a problem in a business and you go to a data scientist and you approach him, okay, that data scientist will analyze everything that's happening around in the business, keeping the data that is there available right now. Okay, he tend to use that data and then he try to utilize it for formulating a trend which can work maybe after 5 years or so. Okay, when he tend to use that when he tend to give you a trend, okay, he tend to give you an idea that if you try to do this particular thing for your business, it can work the best for you. Okay, if he tries to tell you this, the complete business will work under the same ideology, right? So the trend that he sends is the only criteria that the business is gonna work or the progression of the business will be onto. So for that reason, data scientists is really paid high and they get paid around 990,000 per year in India. Okay, then what about machine learning researchers? See, machine learning researchers, when I speak about machine learning, it's all about the algorithms. When I say algorithm, they are the do's and don'ts, the procedures that are available that we need to use, okay, for us to achieve some task. So a machine learning researcher, what he does is he tries to set the do's and don'ts for the trend that a data scientist will probably provide. Okay, he tries to set that the procedure, the format that is required for us to achieve that task. When I speak about the do's and don'ts or the procedure on or the way, the format a particular process should happen, you can see that in your day-to-day life itself. If you want to do a small of the smallest task too, if you tend to ask for maybe some four members, everyone, like each and everyone, all four will say you a different idea, right, to achieve that task. So it will be quite confusing. Now imagine in the world wherein we happen to work on with the machines, if you try to allocate the task and if you want to set up a proper algorithm, a proper set of rules and regulations, okay, you need to work on with it with lots of research. You need to work with lots many researchers, right? So with all this research work, this machine learning researcher will suggest you a particular algorithm or will give you few the best option that will suit your business and through which your business will again work. So for a machine learning researcher, it's a very tedious task, right? Because we have so many do's and don'ts around and it's us who are going to prefer which one is required for us by our own free will and by few logics as well. So this machine learning researcher, he gets paid the highest. Okay, he gets paid of around 10,725,000 per year, which is actually a good pay. So that's the reason they tend to pay them so much, because data scientist is someone who sets the trend, okay, and machine learning researcher is the one who is having the perfect plan of it, how it's gonna work, and he's like the mastermind of everything, right? So that mastermind is getting paid much. Next is machine learning engineer. When I say about machine learning engineer, okay, if a researcher, a machine learning researcher, have given a particular algorithm or a set of rules and regulations that you can possibly perform, okay, this machine learning engineer, what he does is he tries to use all these algorithm that is available and he tries to check, because he's an engineer, he need to check whether he can fit this algorithm into the ecosystem that this data engineer have provided. Okay, so he'll be doing various tests like A/B test, hypothesis testing. All this sort of testing is performed by machine learning engineer. Okay, and he also provides various data pipelines. Like if you just imagine the basic drainage system itself, you tend to give so many pipelines for you to have the proper flow. So a data engineer has given already a ecosystem. Okay, data engineer like you can just have you can just imagine like a person who is given you a model of your house. Okay, and this machine learning engineer is like the one who is given the let me speak about electricity. Okay, that will make even more sense. So how can you possibly give all the wiring connections, okay, such that your house everything works in a much better way? Okay, so in that way machine learning engineer, he adapts the ecosystem that a data engineer will provide, and he does all the pipelining work, that is data pipelining work, for the best benefit of the database that is available in the business. Okay, next comes data architect. So architect, as we all know, architect are the one who provides blueprint for us, right? So if data engineer is a person who is constructing the ecosystem, data architect is the one who gives the blueprint to achieve that ecosystem. Okay, he tends to give the blueprint for data management and how to integrate and centralize and protect the data that is available in the business or in the particular firm. Okay, so that's the reason they get paid so much. Now if I want to just quickly go through this, a machine learning researcher, okay, if you want to be a machine learning researcher, you should have a good knowledge on Java, you should have good knowledge on Python, and apart from that you should have a sound knowledge on mathematics, especially statistics. Okay, very prominently statistics, because statistics is one of such concept or one of such study which helps you to analyze the complete data set. It helps you to summarize the data set. So if you have a data set of let me say around 200 rows or something like that, such huge data set, okay, he can summarize, okay, using the statistics we can summarize it into a single data, okay, that this particular data set can be used for this particular concern. So that is why they need to have a good knowledge on statistics as well. Okay, wherein the data architect should have good knowledge on data warehousing and data modeling, because they are the one who's going to provide us the blueprint. Okay, machine learning engineer should have the same knowledge of what machine learning researcher has, because he needs to check on the thing. Apart from that, he should have all the testing algorithm with him. Okay, so this is how your data science is rounded up, and these are the profile that you can possibly get in when you work on with data science, and that's why data science is blooming right now. And you need to have a complete understanding on how it is. Okay, let's have a few small examples of such working conditions, and we'll realize on how to work on this. First thing is, I told prediction is one of the major criteria. Okay, so let me just take a small example of how this prediction can happen. So if I happen to have a small example like this, okay, we have an invested amount such as 200, 300, 100, 400, 500, okay, and we have a specific profit for that. These are the past data that is there available to us. Okay, it is required for me to predict the future data for $150 that is invested. Okay, so how can I possibly do this? See, you can see that when you have invested $200, you're getting a profit of $2,000, and when you're investing $300, you're getting a profit of $2,500, and when you're investing $100, you're getting a profit of $3,000, and when you're investing $400, you're getting a profit of $1,000. You can't say that if you're investing, if you keep increasing your investment, you're getting the best profit. You can see that for $100 you have got $3,000, which is actually highest among all, and $100 is the lowest among all. But how can you predict if this is the case? So what we do, what a machine learning algorithm can possibly do is, it takes a profit and the investment. Okay, it tries to plot the graph first. Okay, it tries to plot the points according to this, and then it draws a regression line which gives the interrelationship, the relationship between the dependent and the independent variable. Here the dependent variable is the independent variable is the amount that is invested, right? So the amount that is invested is in your hand, so definitely it is a independent variable, and based on your amount that is invested, you have your profits, right? So your profit will be your dependent variable, right? So here you have the relationship between your dependent and the independent variable by your, what sort of plot is this? This plot is called as correlation plot. Okay, when you have a single dependent and independent variable, it is a correlation plot, and then you can just mark in for 150, and you can possibly predict your profit is gonna be $2,750, and we can say that during this prediction, okay, most of the time whatever is predicted, okay, we tend to get it like around 80% of the prediction that's done by machine learning is proved to be accurate. There can be around 20% of your um, predictions that can go wrong, that can go under failure. Okay, that again happens due to some man-made error. Okay, it can happen due to some inconvenient data that is available. Okay, so all these aspects may account into the prediction, the mistake that can occur in prediction, but most of the time the prediction is right, so you can probably rely on machine learning. Next is when I the one more thing, you can question me is that, what we can use the Excel itself, right? Why do we even need machine learning? First thing you need to know is Excel works well. Okay, we have all sort of operation. I'm not saying no about it, but if I have like rows, like maybe a lakh rows or something like that, okay, or maybe hundreds or thousands of rows, something like that, a Excel sheet to work under that condition, it's gonna be very tedious, and your computer will not work well. Okay, it will definitely hang your computer. So for that reason, we need certain machine learning algorithm, and we need certain libraries which can sort this up. Okay, such libraries are available in machine learning, and based on the language that you chose, okay, we basically chose in Sankhyana Python, okay, because Python is one of the most user friendly language. So for that reason, we need machine learning, and when doing this, okay, your work will become fast and you will work consistently. There will not be any miss happening around there, and you can change your worksheet according to your requirement, and your productivity will definitely increase, right? And automatically with all these sort of things, your experience will increase. So this is the reason why we want to go for ML work when compared to Excel work. Excel work can be done for a minimal rows, like maybe 50 rows, maybe 100 rows also can happen, but not more than that. Okay, so this is about your ML and this thing. And now, one major aspect of doing of working under mission is, whenever we tend to speak about machines and all those, what we feel is a machine just does whatever it is formatted for, right? It doesn't change its work according to the requirement. There is no spontaneity with the missions. That's what we think. But how can this machine learn and adapt to the situation? Can a machine learn? Can a machine react according to whatever it's learning? Is it a process, like, day by day it's learning something? Okay, that's the question that's there in our brains, right? So we as a human, when we think about ourselves from our childhood to now, we learn through our experience, through what we see, through what we do, through what the mistakes that we have done, through the success that we have got, right? With all these sort of things, we try to have the experience, and those experience helps us to learn on the things, and that makes us even more spontaneous in all the things that we do, and that makes us even more proficient with the work. Okay, now when I speak on mission, okay, how mission can do this? How can a mission be spontaneous? Mission also can learn. It can learn through the past data. So the data, the input data, it keeps getting into the machine, right? And it keeps enrolling, it keeps getting into the machine, and it processes again. So it has its own experience in terms of past data. Based on the past data, the algorithm is done, and once the algorithm is done, okay, inside this machine, once the algorithm is done, it trains itself. And again it does the routine. Okay, and if there is some other input which is like a newer version of what was not there before, again it trains itself. It's always in the learning mode. So machine can learn by using your by using the techniques that you tend to use, in that can be made easier by data science. That's what we do in data science. Now let's understand, when we happen to speak about data science, I told you the trendsetter of the data science world is data scientist. How he does it? Okay, let's just have an overview. Now I'm just having a application, okay, a case scenario here of, let me say, the one which we tend to use, like something like Swiggy or Zomato. Okay, so these are few applications that is there wherein we try to order our food, right? So how does this work happen? Okay, how they analyze the data, how they use it. Okay, so first admin, okay, what he does is he goes to a business analyst. He asks, what can I possibly do to increase my business to get the profit. Okay, this business analyst, he tend to take help from data scientist. What a data scientist does is he tries to set the trend. Okay, you try to tell them, to do this particular work, okay, based on the trend that is given, and this business analyst will explain to the admin accordingly. Okay, and how do this data scientist get that particular trend? He get the trend by data analyst. Okay, what data analyst does, he tries to take the data whatever is available, he tries to find the hidden patterns, he tries to analyze the data, and he tries to present it. Okay, based on that your data scientist tries to set the trend, and that is used by your business analyst. And how do this data analyst get the data? He gets the data by the database. Okay, and this database is only the one which is provided in your application. Okay, and they have, if we have a user, okay, who is using this application, he tries to order on a particular restaurant or a particular dish or something like that, and based on that order the database is sampled, okay, for that order, that is the order database, and then that particular restaurant is triggered to use that particular order for their own benefit to provide the food, and that food is delivered to them. In this way the complete application is working. That's how the Zomato or Swiggy or whatever we tend to use right now for food ordering, okay, they are like blooming. Okay, it's all because of data. So what are the skills that's required for the future prediction? That's what we wanted, right? Being a data scientist, we want to know what are the skills that's required. First thing is you need to know how to handle data. That is done by data engineering. Okay, and if you know how to handle data, that handling should be done through some scientific method. Okay, and to analyze the data you need to have mathematical skill, especially statistics, as I explained. Okay, to highlight the data. Okay, and you should also know coding, so you should know advanced computing. And once you have coded, okay, even the hackers mindset is again the coding. Okay, you should have a sound knowledge on coding on any one of the uh, language such as Python, Java or R. I would prefer Python. Okay, and then you should visualize it, you should show it in terms of the one which can be presented, and that's how you expertise in your domain. Okay, these are the skills that's required for a data scientist. So I hope this is clear right now. Let's understand on how this complete concept is. Okay, so when I say about the artificial intelligence is something like, we are trying to create a humanoid robot. When I say humanoid robot, a machine, a robot which can possibly perform all the tasks that a human can perform. That is our ultimate task. Okay, so when I speak about human, what are we made up of? What is our body made up of? Our body is made up of various organs which performs its own task for us to do the for us to perform some task on our actions, right? So those sort of organs in the machine is nothing but your machine learning. Okay, wherein you have all your algorithms, okay, set for a particular task for that robot to get activated for the uh, required task that is done by the robot. Okay, so this machine learning concepts or the algorithms works like the organ which is working in our body, and deep learning is like how our brain works. Now all the output that is obtained by the algorithms which is there in machine learning are all interconnected or synchronized by deep learning. How our brain works, our brain tend to take all the input from all the organs that is there in our body, it synchronizes everything. Each and every organ plays a vital role in our day-to-day actions, right, in our day-to-day activities. So in that way it synchronizes this as well. So I can clearly say the in this artificial intelligence, okay, I can say that machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence and deep learning is a subset of machine learning itself. So combination of all these you can possibly create a humanoid. Okay, so now let me explain a humanoid which is actually very successful right now. Here I'm introducing you Sophia the robot, okay, which is one of the most successful humanoid presently. The thing about the Sophia the robot is This robo has got citizenship in UAE. How in 2014, I guess? Yeah, it's got citizenship. How did it even get citizenship? First thing is, when I speak about robo, we all are scared of robo. We all are literally scared of robos because they can anytime take our human race. They can do much more things than a human can do. So definitely it creates a lots of problem for our humanity. But what if we create a robot just like a human? What is the major concern about this Sophia the Robo is the Sophia the Robo, it has this visualization alone. Okay, it looks at your gesture like how we look at the gesture when we were small, and the algorithms are within its body, but they are not activated altogether. Okay, they are not activated altogether. So based on the gesture, one by one the algorithms are learned and then they are activated. When I say learned, they're trained here. Okay, that is the term which we use in machine learning. So they get activated one by one. So this robo is still in the learning process. It depends on the human that it meets. It depends on the behavior that we happen to show for this robo for it to act on it. So in that way, we can utilize this robo for our best benefit, right? So that's how Sophia the robo is being so successful. So it doesn't mean that if you're in AI, you're gonna you're gonna create, you're gonna destroy the human race. It's not at all. It's just that you need to have brains. You need to take a right decision on how to create it. If you happen to take up the right decision, if you happen to predict the future that this is what is going to happen in a right way, in a most accurate way, then you're good to go. Next is you need to have a difference between AI and robo. Okay, when I say robotics are basically the one which just does the task what is given. Okay, and if you happen to add up the artificial intelligence concept into that, then it become artificially intelligent robots. Okay, that's how Sophia the robo came in. And then you can all here we have a small difference on the intelligent robo and non-intelligent robo. When I say intelligent robo, these are the robots that are intelligent. Okay, that can think, that can ultimately express what can be the next thing. It can predict, it can work according to that. It does just like what we do. Okay, it thinks twice before doing anything. But these missions, it doesn't think, it just does what it's formatted for, right? So these are a few example of non-intelligent robot. Then there are various tools in artificial intelligence. Okay, when I speak about machine learning tools, we have scikit, we have python, we have numpy, we have pandas. In deep learning, we have various tools like tensorflow, we have keras, we have pytorch, we have theano, and we have visualization tools as well like matplotlib, reborn, bokeh. These are few tools that we tend to use, and you'll be understanding all this as we proceed with the channel.